How you doing, YouTube? It's your boy D Nasty here. I'm just gonna show you it's something that's been on my mind lately. Um, Basically, it has to do with sponsorships between locals and Yu-Gi-Oh players. I really don't know how sponsorship works at other stores, just more in my area specifically. This is gonna be a little bit of a small rant, but here we go. Just recently, I had a local near me explain how they're gonna start doing this Epic Tournament Championship, and it seems like a really good idea. Long story short, if you keep winning on Fridays and Saturdays, you'll obtain points. If you get the most points, you will be able to have a belt printed. Apparently supposed to have your name on it or something. And you're supposed to get free entry into locals and into regionals for that season. It's just going to be for that season, so it's going to last about 3 or 4 months. Nevertheless, it's a really good prize. The only issue that I have with it is, like, there's 2 ways that you can approach this. So this is my channel, I can speak how I want. There's what I call the Mexican way of, hey, all holes barred. You go in and try to win the most points possible through the sponsors. And then there's what I call the other way, where you just, if you don't like it, you don't participate. And it's one of those things where people are going to really have to make up their mind, because, the advantages for sponsors for the store is they get to have their name out more, and the sponsors are essentially saving the store product. The sponsor will win the product. Sometimes they'll sell it back to the store, so then the store gets free. They don't have to give out product to people who win, and then they get their name out there more, so the store wins. For the sponsor player, they don't have to pay for entry, so that's great. They don't really care about having a product because they get all the cards they need from the store anyway. So they just sell it back to the store and then they get money. It's perfect win-win for the store and for the sponsored player. For the player who's not sponsored, they basically have to go against the grain because their opponent is essentially not exactly just the store, not exactly just the opponent, but the store as well. So you have to beat the opponent who's been placed there in order to keep you from the prize. Now, some people are up to the challenge. Some people very much welcome it. And if you do, go for that hunt, I'm all for it. The reason why I had an issue with letting sponsor players participate in the OTS, essentially because of how much the entry was. But I had some of my Mexican friends, they say, well, don't complain about it, just win. Okay, they voiced their opinion, I voiced mine. Now, when you let sponsor play, the reason why I feel like this tournament could have been amazing, this would have been an amazing prize, is because essentially it's a soft sponsorship. You're getting free entry in the locals and free entry into the regionals to give you something to fight for, because they want to increase their attendance on Friday nights. It makes perfect sense. And maybe it's more of a testament to the players that they have sponsored, which is Cameron and Joey, great friends of mine, or at least associates of mine, that I essentially think of this belt as the Cameron Nils treatment. It's the Cameron Nils treatment belt. That's how I address it, because you're basically essentially fighting for a soft sponsorship. Now, in order for you to win the belt, you would have to be consistently going to Epic Fridays and Saturdays, and you would essentially have to beat Cameron and Joey week to week every day. It's almost like it's a prize that Epic doesn't really have to worry about giving out, because Joey and Cameron are more than likely to win most of these tournaments. Now, since they're sponsored, it's more like they're fighting for a belt and a prize that they already have, so they don't gain anything from it. Epic gets to offer this giant, cool prize, but they know that they don't have to worry about giving it out, because Cameron and Joey win 85 to 90% of Friday night tournaments. And that's in a good format. Now that we're in a not so good format, they are winning 75% and 70% of Friday nights. And then, ironically, they're not happy with it. So, I uploaded this more to point out the flaws in the system, why I'm not a huge fan of it. While it's essentially a soft sponsorship tournament, and letting your sponsors participate in this soft sponsorship tournament essentially gives them nothing to fight for. It's more for bait for players who aren't sponsored, players who want to be known, players who want to have a belt when they walk into Epic. You know, your Loses, you know what I'm saying? People who are very, very, very cocky, very haughty want to come in. I'm the man because I have this belt. The problem is that day will never exist at the moment because Cam and Joey, on average, win, I would say a good 80% of Friday night tournaments. Everyone joins Friday night knowing this in advance. So you can either be Hispanic and you could say, you know, hey, well, just beat them. Don't complain. That's the reason why the sponsorship exists. It's so Epic can save money, so the sponsor player can make money, and it's supposed to leave out the small man, and you just want to have to earn it. Or you can not participate and make your voice by not joining. I'm obviously a huge fan of Epic. I was there from the beginning, as much as some people who don't want to admit that. So I definitely want to see the store success. If all they put in here was that sponsored players don't qualify for this tournament, I can guarantee they would get a flock of players. I know I can get at least 6 or 7 people to join Friday and Saturdays if they had that just for the race alone. And it's every 3 months, so it would be good. It would be a good change. But at the current moment, no one would ever win this belt besides Cameron and Joey. Epic knows that. That's why they made the post. That's why their employees of Epic who suggested this to them are big wrestling fans. They want to give Cameron and Joey something else, which is fine, you know, if you want to keep Cameron and Joey on top of the hill. It's not going to be healthy for competition, in my opinion, but hey, that's cool. That's their choice, that's their business choice. They can do that. So the reason why I posted this is because some people don't seem to understand it from every angle. They just seem to accept it as either A, win and deal with it, or B, don't participate. If you like to keep it simple, you can do that as well. My suggestion would be for Epic to not allow sponsored players to participate in a mini sponsorship tournament, essentially because it's a prize that they already have, because they don't have to pay for the entries, et cetera, et cetera. But that's it. I just wanted to make a video about that. I've been told by other people I need to start making more content just because I really don't have a drive to do that, but I will do it when I see the opportunity. This was definitely a good opportunity. I wanted to do it for the OTS, but the Scott Page bullies of the world, you know, they don't really know what they're talking about. They say, "No, shut up, you know what you're talking about." That's the point of the sponsorship. The sponsorship's supposed to knock out everybody, and the store just makes more money. You know, it saves store money. That's the hustle. You know, that's the name of the game. You got to deal with it. So I didn't make a video because essentially I get bullied by my peers, but I feel like this one needs to be voiced. You know, we're all adults, and as adults, you know, we have a right to our voice. You either deal with it and you can become the champion, or you can not deal with it and not participate. So good luck to everybody out there. I can almost promise you that under this current system, a person would have to join every Friday and Saturday and beat Cameron and Joey every Friday and Saturday to even have a shot at this belt. And Epic created this carrot. It's essentially a carrot in front of a donkey, knowing that they'll never have to give out that prize, which is good for them. Makes people who join look stupid, because you know it's a little bit more of a false hope. Anyway, that's all I had to say. Hopefully they change their prize system. If Epic goes back and comes out and says, "Oh, and by the way, sponsor players can, you know, earn this mini sponsorship," I would completely take this back, because I know 5 or 6 different players who would immediately start going to Epic Fridays and Saturdays, no questions asked. Loses, Oscar, me, I can get Houston. That's enough of a reason for me to convince Houston. Houston's gonna bring 2 people, you know. And that's just, you know, it's simple math. But if Epic thinks that this is what they want to do, that's their right as a business. This D Nancy Creep on, I'm out.